Does anybody else get annoyed when YouTubers start their video asking you to
like and subscribe?
Me too. Anyways, if you can relate to that, go ahead and drop a like. What's up, everybody? I'm Cody Love, and today we are going over 5 different career paths for filmmakers in under 5 minutes. So that is 1 minute per career path, and we're gonna rank them on 3 topics. Barrier to entry, so how easy it is to get started. Risk tolerance, so how risky of a career choice it is. As well as the potential earnings, so how much you can possibly earn exploring that career path. Make sure to stick around for the last 2 because those are the 5-5-5s, high risk, hard to get started, and unlimited earning potential. All right, let's put a minute on a clock and let's get into it with number 1, freelancing. This is where a lot of filmmakers get started, and it is where you have a particular skill, whether that's video editing, color grading, cinematography, screenwriting, you're an audio engineer, and you charge people money for your time providing that service. The barrier for entry to this, I'm going to give a 2 out of 5. There is a little bit of a hustle to this to land your first client, but it's fully under your control to learn a new skill. You can easily learn enough to get started through a long weekend of Googling, YouTubing, and practicing. And then it's just about talking to your network, letting everyone know what you are doing, and getting on the right freelance sites for the specific skill that you learn. So I give this a 2 because I don't think anything is a 1. Everything's going to take a little bit of effort from you, but I believe you can go from not knowing a skill to landing a beginner paying client within a week. Risk tolerance is going to be a 4 out of 5 because you are fully reliant on yourself and your hustle. There is no job security or benefits. You are gig to gig, client to client, making it happen, which can be very stressful and not for everybody. The reason I don't rank it as a 5 is because you don't need to put up very much time or money to give it a shot. Which brings us to earning potential. The earning potential for this is a 2. You can earn decent money as a freelancer, but you will always be trading your time for money, so you can't scale it past a certain point, and comparatively to the next 4 on this list, it has the least earning potential. The average salary for full-time freelancers is around $70K, with the top tier freelancers earning in the low 6 figures. Cool. Pro tip is the more you can niche down your skill and become the best in a particular area, the more you can charge. For example, are you a camera operator or are you a Sony FX1 camera operator specializing in underwater food photography? Although the potential earnings are low for this career path, a lot of people find it appealing for its flexibility, and it possibly can be used as a great side hustle to supplement one of these other career paths. Career path number 2 is working for a business in their marketing department. So there are all kinds of different companies across every industry hiring videographers, editors, producers to create high quality video content in-house. The barrier for entry to this is a 3 out of 5. This is a matter of finding companies that are hiring entry-level positions, such as assistant editor, videographer, or marketing assistant, and then applying to as many as it takes until you get a job, and then working your way up to head of production. I put it at a notch above freelancing because some companies will require that you have a degree or some prior training or experience, and it will likely take you a little while of applying, interviewing, onboarding, and all that good stuff before you actually start making some money. However, there are so many companies out there, and they all need video whether they know it or not, so it is just a numbers game of applying and putting yourself out there. This is a 2 for risk tolerance. Having a salary, benefits, a set schedule, and knowing exactly how much money you have coming in every month is really as safe as you can feel as a filmmaker. It's not a 1 because you can still be fired or laid off, but you have much more job security than any other option on this list. Potential earnings for this is a 3 out of 5. You can make some good money as you work your way up to head of production. The average salary for that position is making around $87,000, with the top earners making north of $200K. That is really good money, and the only reason I put it as a 3 is because you are still trading your time for money, so there is still a ceiling on the growth because you can only be promoted so high while you're working for somebody else. Career path number 3 is working for the studios. So what I mean by this is actually working in the film industry or Hollywood for the big studios that make all the film and TV shows that we watch. The barrier to entry for this is a 4 out of 5. I put this one just above the last one because it is a similar process of finding a job. We have just niched down the options to the studios, which also may require a degree, and it is an extremely competitive industry to break into. Some entry-level positions that you can look to apply for are production assistant, production coordinator, or assistant editor. The risk tolerance for this is a 3 out of 5. Here you have more job security than freelancing, but less job security than being on salary for a company outside of this industry. Oftentimes the studios are doing contract work, so you are guaranteed work for 6 to 12 months or whatever the lifetime of that project you're on is before you you have to find the next contract. But you do tend to build a reputation and relationships, so as long as you are working hard and being a nice person, it becomes much easier to find your next contract than when you're first breaking in. Potential earnings for this one is a 4 out of 5. If you work your way up to a studio executive, you can make a lot of money. The average salary for a studio executive is a little hard to pin down online, but the earning potential is very high. The only reason I don't put it as a 5 is because it is still a job, so you are still trading your time for money. But on the low end, you can be earning mid to high 6 figures, and with potential back-end points on the projects that you are producing as a studio executive, you could be earning millions or multi-millions. So there is a ceiling, but that ceiling is very high. Now the next two are the big dogs, the 555s, the 555s. High risk, hard to get started, unlimited earning potential. So number 4 is starting your own video production company. This is kind of the evolution of freelancing, where you are no longer a specialist in one technical skill, but you are pitching and selling full video projects to clients. Hiring crew and editors, managing your team and clients, and eventually building out systems and processes that can operate independently of your time. When you are freelancing, you're generally working on one job within a company versus working on a company as a whole. Working in the business versus working on a business. Now, you can still hire yourself within the business to work a job like a camera operator or director, but this is not your one job anymore. The barrier to entry for this is also a 5. Starting your own business is no joke. You not only need to be knowledgeable about your industry and have a broad skill set, especially if you were doing a lot yourself in the beginning, but you also need a business plan and strategy, work with an accountant and lawyer to get set up, know what kind of business structure you want and works best for you for taxes, and likely need some amount of startup money to get it all set up, operational, and hire a team for your first client. The risk tolerance for this is also a 5. Similar to freelancing, you are fully reliant on yourself to bring in clients and sell your products or your services. There's no job security or benefits outside of your hustle and ability to make it happen. The reason this is a 5 versus freelancing was a 4 is because generally with a business, you will have invested more time and money to get it going and possibly a team relying on you to get the job done and pay them as well. So the risk is similar, but the amount you're risking is much more. You guessed it, the earning potential for this is also a 5. High risk, high reward. There really is no limit to this. The ceiling is as high as your imagination. As you grow your business, you can earn more, hire more, and create systems and processes that eventually can fully replace you. One of the most attractive elements about this career path is that it is not tied to your time. So you can work when and where you want, you can make your own schedule, but with all of that freedom comes all the responsibility. So it's quite possible that in order to get it off the ground, you will be working very, very long hours. But you answer to no one, you make your own schedule, and you get to work on the projects that you want to work on. Number 5, and the final career path, is independent filmmaking. I feel like this is the dream for a lot of filmmakers when they first start out. You have an idea for a script, a movie, a TV show, and you want to make that into a reality and be an executive producer or the scriptwriter, director, cinematographer. Basically, this is you creating your creative ideas. You are a filmmaker. Barrier to entry for this is a 5. This is super hard. So not only do you need to have a great idea and develop it into a script, but you also need to find a way to fund it. So whether you are putting up your own money or trying to get investors, that is a very tough process. Then once that's done, you have to make a film, which is very hard. And when all that is done, then you have to try to convince studios, theaters, or production companies to distribute and sell your film, which in my experience is the hardest part as an independent filmmaker. This is a serious grind, but if you are a filmmaker, just keep going, believe in yourself, because that is what you do. Risk tolerance for this is a 5. Just reference the barrier to entry section that we just talked about, and that's why it's risky. It's very much like starting a new company for every project, and sometimes you literally start companies for a project. So you have to be all in and committed to your vision, and even if you get it to that point, then people can still not like it and it not perform well. But as Jim Carrey once said, you can fail at what you don't like, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. Nice. Earning potential for this is a 5. So your project can get out there and it can flop and you could not earn any money on it or even cost you a bunch of money. But the earning potential for this is a 5 because it can also be a huge success, and as long as you have hung on to some ownership for that project, it can make you millions and pay you residuals for the rest of your life potentially. One example of this is the Blair Witch Project, which had a budget of $60,000 and was just some independent filmmakers with an idea, and that movie grossed over $250 million. So those are 5 career paths for filmmakers: freelancing, working for a marketing department, working for the studios, starting your own production company, and the last one is independent filmmaking. Hopefully this breakdown helped you see what fits you best as far as getting started, the risk tolerance, and earning potential. And the best part is you can do more than one. I've done 4 on this list, and I'm currently doing 3: running my own production company, independent filmmaking, and I still do a little bit of freelancing as a drone or camera operator. Plus, there are even more career paths for filmmakers than just these 5. So subscribe to learn more about filmmaking and running a production company. Check the description below for some helpful books, gear recommendations, and other filmmaking resources. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.